But I think we should get to the biggest news of the day.
Ooh, you think it's even
As
bigger?
oh, oh yeah,
I guess it's made me more mad.
the NBA owners approved the 3-2-1 lottery anti-taking
I'm
proposal.
so mad, bro. So
So I
mad.
think I think before we get into our opinions, we should just explain exactly what it even is.
I got it all in front of me,
Do
man.
you want to explain or yeah?
All right. So let's kind of start from the beginning. I'll run it pretty quick.
Yep.
Um, Before they changed the lottery, I'm even going to go back to, earlier drafts. Growing up, the draft used to be like the first pick in the draft. The first pick in the draft, you were always guaranteed 1 to 4. Um, so if you were like worst team in the league, you had first odds at 25%. Second was 21.5, third 17.7%, fourth pick 35.8%. So your best odds was you either get the first pick in the draft or the fourth. And then there's also odds you might get the second or third, but you would never drop out of the top four. So you were at least always guaranteed a top four pick. Second worst team guaranteed top five. Third worst guaranteed top six, and so on and so forth, top seven, and then it just goes funnels down from there. But typically, the top five teams had majority of the best odds of getting top five picks usually. Um, that's why a lot of drafts in the past, you didn't really see a lot of teams move up. If a team ever did move up in a major way, like from 11 to top three, that was incredible. The odds were, it's super low back then. So there's more value to you being top three or top five pick because you will have a more guarantee of getting a top pick. Um, with the newer lottery that we've had recently, they flatten the odds. So you have your first, second, and third pick where they have the 14% chance of getting the first pick, 13.4% for the second pick, 12.7% for getting the third, fourth pick, 12%. And then they changed it for the first pick. You only have a chance of dropping from 1 to 5 instead of 1 to 4, but you have an increased odds of dropping to the fifth pick with a 47.9% chance. Part of the reason why they did this was to get rid of tanking entirely, which to me personally, tanking is kind of a part of the sport in any sport. Um, I don't think you can really get rid of tanking, but I think you can mitigate it. Um, to me, flattening the odds makes it worse, and we'll kind of get into that. I had a problem with this lottery aspect though, because um, even if you look at odds, like I've talked to Zach several times about this. Um, I think even if you have the 10th pick, if I'm looking here correctly, 6.3, 9.9. Yeah, so like if you have the 10th pick in this lottery system, the current one that we're going to have for this last draft, which we already had the lottery. But if I have the 10th pick, I have a 13.9% chance of getting a top four pick. I have as good of a chance of getting a top four pick as the top three teams have of getting the first pick in the draft. Um, and my argument there is that's the reason why the NBA has had even more increased of teams tanking. Because I even looked at the standings before we hopped on the pod here. There were 10 teams this year that tanked, that I believe that tanked. Um,
That the league believes tank too.
yes. And if we're going by 10 teams tanked, if my math is correct, 10th pick, you have as good as a chance of getting the first pick as the top 3 teams. 10 teams tanked. So these teams realize, oh, I could play good for a certain amount of the season, but by the time I get to the trade deadline or past the NBA Cup, then we can start to tank and veer off because I don't even have to be a 4th or 5th worst team now. I could be the 8th, 9th, or 10th worst team in the NBA, and I still have a really decent shot of getting a top 3 pick in the draft, top 4 pick in the draft. Um, so, with that being said, we now have the 3-2-1 lottery. Um, I will say before I go into it, I actually really appreciate these 2 new roles. If you get a top, I believe if you get a top 5 pick in 2 consecutive years,
Yes.
you cannot get a top 5 pick after that.
3 consecutive.
I think it's 2 consecutive, and then when you go into the third draft, there's no way for you to get it on the third year.
Oh, I thought it was. Yeah, yeah, it's the same thing,
Mhm.
right?
We're thinking, yeah,
Okay.
just
Yeah.
yeah. So if you get a top 5 pick in 2 back-to-back years, the third
Right.
year you're instantly out of the top 5, no matter what. That's a good rule. Um, I actually like that. I think that rule alone actually stops tanking, or at least lowers the amount of tanking. Like I think that one rule is that incredible to have. Um, I know
Funny
they.
enough,
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that rule is to prevent what the Spurs did. I don't think the league wants to see
Sure.
teams get like Wemby,
Stephon
Castle, and
Castle,
Dylan Harper.
100%, dude.
They don't want you doing the same exact thing as the Spurs. And so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, dude, I agree. They added another rule that's kind of in comparison with that, but I think that rule alone literally fixes it. Like, I actually like that because that's so fair. Like, if I go
I
to
don't
like
mind
the
that.
if I go to the Hornets and I'm like, hey, you guys get 2 top 5 picks, you guys draft your guys. Now you go figure it out. Like we gotta stop babying teams and us, acting like, oh, well, they're not figuring out, so we're going to give them another top 5 pick. Like, no, they need to draft their 2 guys and figure it out. If it doesn't work out, then guess what? That's how it goes, man. That's sports. Trade the guys, get back to the drawing board, move on. Um, 3-2-1 lottery, dude. The worst thing they could have done was flatten the odds more. I mean, it's now just fully out of hand. Um, Keep in mind, they flattened it even worse. If you are the like 3 worst teams in the NBA, you have a 5.4% chance at getting the first pick in the draft, just the first. Um, they're combining the statistic of the first, second, and third pick. Though that combined is 16%. So you have a 16% chance of getting a top 3 pick out of those 3 teams. If they now extended it. The lottery used to be 14, it's now 16. If you make the play-in and lose out of, those 2 teams that lose at the end there, so 15 and 16, they are now included in the draft lottery. They have a 8% chance to make top 3. Insane. 8%. They have a better chance than the worst team in the NBA of getting the first pick in the draft. And they made the play-in. That's crazy. They have a 15% chance at a top 5 pick. They literally have about the same amount of chance of getting a top 5 pick as a bottom 3 team does for a top 3 pick. So if I'm the
So,
Miami Heat, I'm going to the play-in every year still. They've been to the play-in 4 straight years. I'm going for 2 more after that because I might get 2 top 5 picks back to back.
yeah. So I think how it, like the lottery balls are divvied up, I'm pretty sure there's 37 lottery balls. the top 3 picks get 2 balls each, and then 4 through 10 gets 3 balls, and then 10 through 14 gets 2 balls, and the 2 losers of the 7th and 8th seed gets 1 ball. And I hate how I keep saying ball. That just keeps sounding weird. But anyway. So I'm pretty sure, is this right? The top 3 have the same odds as teams 10 through 14?
Yep.
That is interesting. And so me and Josh, we were texting earlier, and hypothetically, if a team was the 8th seed, they lose the 7th and 8th seed play-in game, they get 1 lottery ball. But if they win and make it to the playoffs, they could hypothetically have a chance at the number 1 overall pick and win the finals. If I'm thinking about that
Yep.
correctly.
Pretty
Is
much,
that
dude.
right?
You're pretty much on the nail there.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. I think, like, to your point with the flattening,
That's literally like
it's
if the
wild.
Hornets, like if they had those rules this year, the Hornets would actually have a reality of getting AJ, like a really big reality of actually would have getting him in the lottery.
So the Hornets would have had the same odds as the top 3
Pretty much.
to get the first pick.
Yep.
Yeah. And so to your point with the flattening, it is strange how the 4th and the 10th team have the exact same odds. I will say the only thing that I do kind of like about it is if you are the 6th or the 7th worst team and you're kind of stuck to where it's like you're not going to be bad enough anymore to get into the top 3 to be a
Mm-hmm.
top 3 worst record, and you're not going to make it to the top 11, there's incentive to just win games because it doesn't matter. Who cares if you finish 10th instead of 6th? That part I do enjoy about it. What I'm interested about is, like, how will this affect the buyout market? I'm curious because usually, like, buyout guys will obviously go to contending teams, but, like, if someone gets bought out and you're like one of the bottom 3 teams, do you go to the buyout market and be like, "Hey, like, can you get me 20 points a night and you can be the guy?" Like, I don't know. I'm curious if, like, that changes anything with that.
Yeah. I could see that. I just, if you saw the picture I sent you, I find it very interesting because like I was saying earlier, if we have 10 tanking teams, it's going to stay the same. If not, it's going to get worse. Because on the far right, I don't know if you have the picture pulled up, but these 7 teams after the worst 3 have a better average pick rate than the worst 3 teams. The worst 3 teams have an average pick rate of 8.1. That means they're averaging the 8th pick. The 7 teams behind them are averaging 7.4. I don't need a top. I don't need to be 3 worst. As long as I'm in the last 7 behind those 3, I'm actually averaging a better pick rate than the 3 worst teams.
Yeah.
And then 9th and 10th seeds, 9.1, that's not too far behind. The play-in teams average pick is 11.7, but dude, if I'm at 15 and 16, you're telling me my average pick rate is 11.7? You're telling me my average pick rate is the 11th or 12th pick? Like, why would I not take that? You know?
Right.
Like, it's just interesting.
Yeah, it's wild because it's like you used to want to be really good or really bad. Like, it was a bad thing to be stuck in the middle, but now it's like for at least the next 3 years, You either want to be really good or really mid, and that's it. Which is
This
interesting
makes
because
teams want to take and be more mid.
if we want to like step back for a second though, is it possible that like we're just screwing teams who are actually just bad?
Yes,
Like
yes, we are.
like what are the Nets gonna do? What
Because
are
that's
you
what they
know
are. They are bad. What do
they're bad and they're
like
getting punished for
like
being bad. And how
we
do
can
they stop being bad if they
listen,
can't get these
listen.
picks?
We can say that the Spurs tanked for Wemby. Okay, sure, whatever. Guess what? You can say they tanked, but they're actually they were bad. They were.
Mm,
Like can oh, they tanked. No, like dude, oh, the Sixers tanked for Embiid and Ben Simmons. Bro, they were a bad team. They were
yeah.
bad. Like you can say they tanked, okay, bro, like they were bad. I don't know what to
Mm,
tell you. And I kind of want to play a game real quick in a not really
ooh.
a game, but I went back to the 2014 draft, and I don't know if you remember 2014 too fondly.
Was that cat?
That was the Andrew Wiggins draft.
Oh,
Jabari Parker,
okay.
Joel Embiid draft.
Oh, snap.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. I want to play a game real quick. I'm going to go
Please.
through each team and you tell me if they're tanking, okay? If you, by your perception, I don't know if you remember 2014 well. If you need me to explain the team a little bit from that year to remind you, that's fine too. But I'm just going to go through it real quick, okay?
Yep.
We have first pick Cleveland Cavaliers, Andrew Wiggins. Tanking? They had Kyrie.
I don't think they were tanking. Were they tanking?
This was also the draft they moved up in the lottery.
Mm, yeah, I don't remember them tanking.
I'm pretty sure they moved up in the lottery for this.
Yeah, again, I don't know like off the top of my head.
It was Kyrie Irving. It was after the first year of Kyrie Irving, but
Okay.
yeah, rookie Kyrie Irving. So it's one of those scenarios where they're like, LeBron leaves, you know, got to rebuild. They draft Kyrie Irving. They still need another guy to pair with him. They luck out with another first round pick. Um, After drafting Anthony Bennett. By the way, they drafted Kyrie, Anthony Bennett, Andrew Wiggins. The Cleveland Cavaliers had 3 straight first picks. No, wait. 3 out of 4. It was Kyrie, Anthony Davis, and then Anthony Bennett and Andrew Wiggins. So with the new rule, they
Jeez.
actually would have been fine because they had Kyrie for the first time. They didn't have the first pick after that. They were actually out of the top 5 in the second year. And then they were back at the number 1 pick for the 2013. And the only reason they were back at the top of the 2014 NBA draft is because I think they went up that year in the draft lottery.
Andrew Wiggins, that was the Kevin Love trade, right?
Yep, he got traded for Kevin Love.
Okay.
That is correct.
Mm. Yeah, that's crazy. What were the other ones in that draft class? It was
Jabari Parker. So
Cavs, Jabari Parker.
Bucks were
Yeah.
next, second pick.
Dude, I don't remember anything about that team.
It was it was Giannis just got drafted, so Giannis was last year.
Skinny boy Giannis at that time.
18-year-old Giannis, dude. You want me to run through that roster real quick?
Yeah,
It's a
just go
scary
through it.
one. Oh, and by the way, I looked up Cleveland. They finished 33 and 49, so they did move up in the draft lottery to get Andrew Wiggins. So they actually lucked out in the lottery.
33 wins and got the first pick.
Yep.
It's not bad.
So they did not tank. Right off the bat, first team did not tank. Just putting that out there. They just lucked out. Okay. Milwaukee, Jabari Parker. I believe this was the team that still had Larry Sanders. And let's see here. Larry Sanders probably.
I don't even know who that is.
Brandon Knight. Brandon Knight was their
Brandon
top.
Knight.
Yep, Brandon Knight, their top scorer, averaged 18 points per game. They'd even have a 20 points, which, I
Oh,
mean,
that's
if you had a 20
they
point
must
score
be
at that
just
time,
buns.
yeah, you want to know their record?
Yeah.
15 and 67, Zach. So is that a bad team or a tanking team?
That's a garbage team.
Yeah, they had Brandon Knight, Ramon Sessions, and OJ Mayo.
Good thing they drafted their savior that year.
Ursan Ilyasova was their starting power forward.
Wow.
Larry Sanders was still the starting center with Zaza Pachulia as their backup center.
Dude, that's
Chad,
insane.
I think this is a bad team. I don't think they're tanking. I think they needed Jabari.
Yep.
Yeah, consensus.
Jeez.
Third pick, Joel Embiid, 76ers.
That was a bad team.
Hey, man, I can always go back through the roster.
That was a bad team.
19 and 63.
Yeah.
Best player, Thaddeus Young.
Wow.
18 points per game. Evan Turner, second best, Celtics legend,
Hey.
17 a game. This
My
was
guy.
this was the Michael Carter Williams Rookie of the Year.
Oh,
Tony Roten,
That's
Spencer
stud.
Hawes. Zach, they had 23 players on the roster.
Bro, I'm dead.
Their best player was Thaddeus Young. Evan Turner, Michael Carter Williams. I think this is a bad team.
Yeah.
Aaron Gordon, fourth pick. Magic.
Yeah, I don't remember who's on that team.
Nikola Vucevic, baby. Should have been leading the team at that time.
Wow.
Oh, nope. Lol, just kidding. Aaron Aflalo with 18 points per game. Tobias Harris, 14. Nikola Vucevic, 14. Victor Oladipo, second in the Rookie of the Year voting with 14. Still had Glenn Davis, Jameer Nelson, Maurice Harkless. They went 23 and 59.
Yeah. Not a good team.
They had a mid offensive. Actually, dude, they were the 29th worst offense in the league. They were the second worst offense in the league. They had a mid defense, which, looking at the numbers here, makes a lot of sense. And I'll just stop at Dante, man. Dante from Utah. Dante Exum, baby.
He can't shoot.
And then you had Marcus Smart from Boston, Julius Randle, Los Angeles Lakers. I don't think Kobe would have kept the Lakers for tanking.
That's a good point.
Charlotte at 9 with Noah Vonleh.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I think the Hornets were definitely tanking at 9 there. They really wanted Noah Vonleh. But anyways, that's just kind of my case. Is my main point is I think we should go back to the original lottery system, and we should keep the rule of if you get 2 top 5 picks in 2 years, then you're not allowed to get one in the third year. Because I truly think these teams are bad. I do. And literally, if the 76ers didn't start the trust the process, I don't even think they would have ever done it. Which, by the way, the trust the process tanking did not work. So there's actually never really been a showcase that it actually does work,
Hmm.
because at the end of the day, you do have to pick the correct players.
Yeah, I agree with that. And just with this new 3-2-1 lottery, this like really shows how much the NBA is not helping out their fellow small market teams,
I'm going to give you a
especially
fun
the
fact
bad
before we
ones.
leave. Are you
Go ahead.
ready?
I'm ready.
The NBA new draft lottery rules passed with a vote of 29 to 1, Zach. Shocker, by the
Oh,
way. Big
yeah.
shocker. Obviously, it's going to be 29 to 1. Should have been unanimous. There is one team that voted against the new rules. Would you like to take a guess, or would you like me to just tell you?
Is the Grizzlies.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yep.
sir. Yep.
They got trolled. I'm not gonna lie.
They got
They got
trolled,
played hard.
and I actually feel really bad for Grizzlies fans, and
I do too.
it's because I don't talk good about the Grizzlies a lot. I don't really talk bad about them a lot, though. It's more because of their players that I talk bad about. Um, but dude, I really feel bad for them and their fan base, because they actually did everything right this past several years. They got their two top five picks in John Morant and Jaren Jackson. And then guess what they did, dude? They went to go figure it out on their own. They got Desmond Bain, who was another good pick in the late round. And, they went to go figure it out. Guess what? It didn't work out. And what did they do when they realized it didn't work out, Zach? They traded
Got
the
a million
players
first
away.
round picks.
Heck yeah, dude. And it's crazy because people will like dog the Bulls. Well, I will too, because they keep Zach Levine, Vucevic, Alex Caruso, all these players, Kobe White. They keep them until their value is gone. Like they don't trade them away at their peak. Like they
Mhm.
don't get rid of them at the point where they need to. And we dog them for that. But we're not talking about how the Grizzlies actually did what we want majority of teams to do when they realized it didn't work out. The Grizzlies realized it wasn't working out ASAP. They sniffed it out super quick. What did they do? Million first round picks, bro, for Jaren Jackson and Desmond Bain. John Morant's probably getting traded this offseason. If he does, that's more, at least maybe a first rounder. I don't know what that deal is going to be looking like. I don't know what team's interest is in him right now because of all the BS. Um,
Yeah.
but the Grizzlies did everything by the book. They did. They did everything I would want my franchise to do if the scenario doesn't work out, which in sports happens majority of the time. You do have to have some luck to hit on those picks and go win a championship. And they didn't hit. So what did they do? They restart. They're going to rebuild. And then guess what? They get hit with this new lottery rules. You have all these first picks you just traded for. Now they look dumb.
Yeah, it's just totally not fair for them. Like they thought this because it was like they got the lesser of the three picks, which was the
Mm-hmm.
Jazz pick, and obviously since the Jazz have already had two top five picks,
Yep.
now basically they have a top five protected pick, which honestly screws the Grizzlies. And it's interesting now because the whole thing almost seems like it's trying to prevent like what the Spurs did, and maybe to a lesser extent what the Thunder did. The problem is if you're not gonna let the Grizzlies have that pick, like this rule is gonna apply for the Spurs and especially the Thunder
Mm-hmm.
coming up because they have pick swaps in the first round to where like in the
It
future
actually helps the Thunder more.
it's gonna help them. And
Yes.
so literally you're giving the Thunder a better chance at still getting top
Yes,
three
dude.
picks.
Yes.
Or the first pick, I should
Yep.
say.
It actually helps the Spurs and the Thunder out more.
Yeah.
If
So
anything.
they're the biggest winners
And the
of this whole
Thunder,
thing.
whether you like the Thunder or not, they actually built their team right because they didn't draft Shea. They traded for him. They drafted Jalen Williams outside of the top 5. They got Chet at 2. So they actually own their top 3 players that they have on their team right now. Only one of them is a top 5 pick, and that guy they drafted. Jalen Williams was later on. Shea was traded for Paul George. They literally built the team all textbook. And for them doing that, that's great. But with how good their team is and the fact that they might win another championship this year, we're now going to make it to where the picks that they have for these teams that are really mid in between the 10th to 16th, dude, there's a chance they can make a top 3 or top 5 pick now. There's a realistic chance. It's scary.
And so I'm curious how this changes the landscape of unprotected picks, because now those are going to be so much more valuable. So if you're a team and you know that you're going to get 45 plus wins, that you're pretty confident that you have a championship team, you should be pretty okay sending away unprotected picks because of how valuable
100%.
they are now. And I think this will cause other teams to maybe
Way more protections.
be a little more worried about sending picks from 2030 and beyond.
That
Because,
Rudy
like,
Gobert
once
trade ain't gonna happen, bro.
yeah, and like once
it's not gonna happen.
these 3 years are up, no one knows the value of those first round picks anymore, because who knows what the league's gonna do, you know, after. So maybe these first round picks will be a lot better in the 2030s, and maybe they'll look a lot worse. Like, you just don't know anymore. So I think teams will shy away from that in a sense. I think another crazy thing about this is, so you have, obviously, now the lottery is pick 1 through 16, and now in the second round they're reversing that order. So if you have the 16th pick in the first round, you're gonna have the first pick in the second round, and it's just gonna go in reverse order. The league is building teams to be mid. You're getting rewarded for being mid between the fence team.
Chicago, be happy, man. All that years of being mid, guess what? It paid off. This is your
time
moment.
is here.
No, literally, this is it. You finally did it.
We already talked about the Heat, like, guys.
And
this is your time to shine.
The main 2 things I have to leave us on is, if you don't believe that this is bad for the league, again, it was almost unanimous, 29-1. Teams voting for anti-tanking rules that you think, if I was why would I vote yes for a rule that hurts me? By this vote, I'm going by 29 teams voted, let's do it, because they realize this actually helps them.
Yep.
At the end of the day, dude, these are greedy owners. These are billionaires. Like, they want to win. Let's stop the cap here. They voted yes because they know they're going to abuse the system even more now. We're going to go from 10 tanking teams, and this is the last point. We're going to go from 10 to potentially 12 or 14. It's going to happen. We're going to have teams purposefully lose their play-in games so they get that 15th and 16th pick and move up. That's what we're going to start seeing. And we're going to be back on this podcast in a year or two and be talking about, wow, I just watched the Miami Heat lose in the playoffs by 40 so they can get that pick. And they'll move up into the top 5 and get whoever.
The only thing it's preventing is just, like, outright tanking. Now it's just finding the sweet spots for teams, and they're going to know how to exploit that. I will say it will be pretty funny to watch, like, the bottom 3 teams, like, play their hearts out at the end of the year. Imagine the 3rd worst team and the 4th worst team playing, like, in the last game of the season. Same record or whatever. Like, that's going to be an all-out war.
Yep.
So that's actually pretty funny.
Oh well,
Um,
that'll be exciting. But as like a fan of that franchise, it's gonna hurt my soul. Like if I'm a fan of like I don't know, like the Pelicans, like we're
mhm.
cooked. Which the Pelicans did it to themselves, but still, like I realize we're cooked. If I'm a fan of the
and,
Kings, we're cooked.
and Adam Silver, he's got more power. So
Yeah, shout out to him
it's
for
his world,
also
and we're
saying
just
the
living in
official.
it.
Yeah, shout out to him talking about there's no flopping problem too today. Love to see that.
And that's honestly what all the fans really care about.
Yeah, this dude is more worried about tanking issues than the players flopping and the refs being more accountable. That's
Hmm.
oh, the officiating is great. It's amazing. It's like all right, dude, whatever. I don't I don't know what else to do.
He's so concerned with a problem that's not as big of a problem as what
Yep.
people actually worry about your playoff
Mhm.
product.
Yep.
That's what you should worry about.
He's
That's
worried
what people are
about
watching.
teams building dynasties,
Hmm.
but not teams abusing foul calls. That's cool. That's awesome.
So this new lottery system is going to have some implications that we don't even see yet. There's going to be new problems that arise from it.
Yeah,
Teams
dude.
will figure out ways to exploit it, like you were saying.
We'll be back
And
here,
so we'll
bro.
see what happens in 3 years.
We will be back here. Chat, I'm telling you, I will come back to this pod specifically. I will make a short specifically for this. I will come back in 2 or 3 years just so I can be like, Zach, remember this? Remember this? We all remember this. We know what happened. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm going to be so patient, bro. I'm just going to watch it unfold. It's fine.
You're going to
I'm not
say,
mad.
Zach, the Thunder just
Yep.
got another version
Yep.
of Wemby.
I'm waiting. Yep. Here we
What
go, man.
what's happened to the league?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm just waiting for it to explode, bro. I'm heated, man. Get me to go to bed, chat. I'm
Hmm.
I can't.
As long as the Celtics get the first pick somehow, we're good.
Oh my.
But other than that, we riot.
Oh my
That's all I
gosh.
have to say.
Oh.
Protect your picks, everyone.
Yeah, dude. So there's gonna be so many protections.
Yep.
Yeah. Good luck, man. If you're an NBA
Yeah.
fan, good luck. I wish you all the luck, man. I'm gonna be fuming every year.
Yep. If you're an NBA fan, all I have to say is stay mid.
This is the
That's
Great
what the league
Depression.
wants you
We're
to
in
do.
it. This is the 30s.
Be absolutely mediocre in all you do. Adam Silver, thank you.
Dang it, man. We shouldn't have gotten rid of MJ for the Hornets, man. This could have been our moment. Now I want him back. Can we get him back,
Oh, man.
please? Can we get him back in the office?
That's crazy.
Steve Clifford, where are you, man? Mitch, where are you?
Mitch,
Mitch,
please.
come back.
James.
I'm sorry. It's actually great
Borrego.
that we're mid. Yes, bring them all back, please.
Oh, man.